This is a portrait I drew of Lauren Cohen, also known as Maggie Green, and she plays Maggie on The Walking Dead. So, hope you enjoy, brothers and sisters. The Walking Dead, Issue 9. Welcome, brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation! Jim's Nerd Nation. I, of course, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the really dark and kind of grisly tale of The Walking Dead. Now, for me, I've been watching the TV series for 3 seasons now, and although it's really good and it has a lot of potential, it's never really lived up to my expectations. The comic, some things followed along, some things strayed off, but honestly, I was kind of just trudging through each one, waiting for things to pick up, doing the reviews, enjoying it, but not really loving it. This was the issue that really just kind of got me going, oh shit, it's really, really good. There was a lot of action in it, and the last issue left us with everyone going to sleep in the house in that gated community. As the snow was starting to melt off the windows, we see a sign or a window or something, that says something to the effect of "All dead, do not enter." And we're thinking, oh boy. So the next morning, everyone, gets up and wakes up, and Rick and Lori have a little bit of an exchange, and everybody's kind of happy and in better spirits because they're thinking about the future and that they may be able to get everything cleared out and, live in this fortified, gated subdivision, this little area, right? And actually have a home and some semblance of a normal life, So, Donna, a character that previously was very unlikable and seemed like she was just kind of a very nosy, little bitty type, person that just gets in everybody's business, you start to really like, and she's talking with her husband in the morning and talking about how she's really happy for Dale and Andrea. Even, they both lost a loved one, and, but it's just great. There's all this positive hope and excitement in her, And then her husband goes in and he says, oh great, can we have sex? But the kids were sleeping in the same room though, and then the kids misheard and thought it was something else and kind of leaned over and were like, what's that? What's sex? So clearly that's not going to happen. They all wind up getting up, and later on that morning, they've had a decent night's sleep in actual beds, not crammed in an RV. And they all get together, and Rick basically says, listen, we're going to split up into groups, and we're going to start clearing out these houses. I expect there's going to be some, resistance as far as, some zombies maybe floating around in the basements like there were here. But we're going to stay in groups. Everybody needs to make sure they're armed and be ready to shoot. That's what's going to happen. So he's going to go and break off these 2 different groups, and Tyrese's daughter, Julie, and her boyfriend, Chris, who look like they're maybe, 12, 13, 14 years old, not real old, maybe high schoolers. They basically say, listen, we don't want to go through creepy houses and shit. Can we just stay here? This one's secure. We're good to go, And he says, yeah, that's fine. So Rick goes and says, all right, listen, I got to run out to the RV and grab Tyreese a gun. Because remember, everybody else carries. Everybody else is armed. Tyreese is newer to the group, and they haven't given him one yet. So while they're getting ready and going to break off into their groups and whatnot, Tyreese says he's going to go check the backyard of this one house, and Rick has told everybody to kind of look at the houses too and figure out, as you're going through them, hey, would I like to live in this one, right? So Donna starts dreaming of like the suburban life and everything, and she's talking to her husband, and she's just like, okay, geez, we gotta, this place looks good. I think I'm just going to take a peek inside, right? And that's never good in this type of tale, and he even warns her. He says, listen, I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea at all. And, as this is happening, it goes back to Rick, and Rick goes and sees near the RV the sign on it, or the window that had that warning painted on it, that now that the snow, of course, is melted off, where it says, all dead, do not enter, and he's thinking, oh, fuck, right? Right as this happens, we go and we see a shadow in the doorway of the house that looms a zombie. And then the next panel, in a grisly panel, and I might actually draw this sometime, this zombie just tears into the side of Donna's face and just rips her side of her face and her eye just right out. And she gets swarmed by a couple of them, that came shambling out of the house. Now, these things were probably dormant the night before because, well, A, it was getting dark, B, it was very cold, and we know that they don't really, die, they just sort of freeze, and then they can thaw back out. And then, of course, they're attracted to sound, and I don't think that they were, making a whole lot of sounds. They just went through that one house and kind of cleared it and slept in it. So the shit starts to immediately hit the fan, and Rick's running towards, and and he's going, no, no, don't shoot, right? And so her husband winds up going in and pulling out the gun anyway, and starts shooting like an idiot. We know these things are attracted to noise, right? And I mean, then you go and they show a shot down the street, and I mean, there's hundreds of them. They're just wandering out of the houses and everything like that. And it's this whole gated community, so I don't know if there's 20 houses, 50 houses, whatever. But we know that shit's not good, right? Things are not good at all. So Rick's trying to shoot out orders. He's trying to get Alan up. Alan's going, and he's just like, leave me here. It's okay. And now, mind you, this guy's got kids. He's got twins, and Rick's like, the fuck you are? Think about your kids, man. Like, I get it. You're seeing your wife be torn apart by these zombies here, but let's get out of here. And he's telling everybody, get in the RV, get in the RV. They're trying to get the kids and everything. And then Tyreese goes, oh, shit. His daughter, right? And Chris, they went back in the house. So he's like, I'll go get him, Rick goes and is getting everybody packed up into the RV. He finally pulls Alan away and gets him into the RV, right? And then Rick's like, oh shit, where's Tyreese, And Dale's getting the RV started up, and Rick just doesn't even doesn't think about Lori or Carl, whatever. They're in the RV, and he's just like, you know what? If the zombies start to swarm, just go. We'll fight our way out or whatever. He's gonna go help Tyreese. So it's just a great chapter with a lot of action, because as he's going to the door, the zombies are crowding around, and he's just bam, bam, bam. He's just popping these things left and right. Just knocking them down, pushing them out of the way. He gets into the house, right, and he gets upstairs. And this is, and then it flashes to Tyreese, and he's up there, and he walks in on his daughter and this kid that she's dating, this Chris or whatever, and they're like half naked, about to have sex, And he's like, what the? And she's like, Daddy, I'm so sorry. And he's like, fuck, don't worry about that. Just get your shit together and get your clothes back on. We gotta get out of here, right? Now you gotta remember, all their food, their blankets, everything, they brought all that shit in yesterday, okay? Now they're having to hightail out of there. So the zombies are starting to flood in, get around the house, get in the house. Obviously, they're going to start coming up the stairs. So Rick and them, they go and they bust out one of the windows, and luckily it's like a split level type of house where they can walk out on part of the roof. They walk out on part of the roof, and Rick looks over, and you just see like this sea of zombies. I don't know, maybe 200 of them, 100, I don't know, a lot, okay? Many more than they have bullets for. So him and Tyreese and Chris and Julie are all like, oh, fuck, what now, right? All of a sudden, boom, Dale comes flying in the RV, man, knocking zombies left and right, and he's like, pulls up and he like honks, he's like, here, get on the roof. So they go and they jump from the roof of the house to the roof of the RV, the four of them, then he's like, all right, we're ready to go, and he's like, hang on, and goes driving away. We see kind of a somber moment after that. Alan is obviously broken up. It goes kind of flashes ahead to about a week later, and Alan, they're worried about him. He's still real depressed, and he's just basically, he wound up telling his kids right afterwards, your mom's dead, and he just looks completely broken up, and I don't know if he's going to be a problem later on, but he's definitely a problem now, because of his grief is overtaking everyone. They're starting to starve at this point, because it has been a week now. It kind of flashes forward, and they've stopped a couple of times looking to loot places, but they've already been cleaned out, and to stop for gas and supplies. And they're basically at the point now where they're going to have to go off and hunt, because nobody's been eating properly. Lori's pregnant, of course. And it's just, like I said, it's a shame that they lost Donna, and they kind of immediately lost that dream of safety, and I think that's going to be a recurring theme in here. But what winds up happening is Rick and them, they wind up stopping, and again, like I said, they go over the supplies, they don't have shit, and Rick's like, well, we can always go hunting. So Carl says, well, I'll go hunting with you too, or whatever, right? And so they go off into the woods, and Rick and Carl, are in the woods or whatever. And it was actually great. I mean, I remember just, looking through, and I really just enjoyed everything, as far as the art and everything. They did get a new artist a few issues ago, and it was kind of neat, I guess, how some of the stuff was. If any of you have read along or are reading along, you'll see what I'm talking about with this. But Tyreese, Rick, and Carl they go off and they go, to go hunting or whatever. And, they think they hear something, and he's telling Carl to be quiet. And then all of a sudden you see this panel where just, and Carl arches backwards, and I mean, he gets pegged, right? He gets shot. And we're like, what the fuck? And Tyreese is like, who's shooting at us, right? And they're in the woods. And they wind up coming upon this guy, or this guy comes up to him, and he's like, and Rick's like, what the? And he's, he just shot his son, right? He thinks his son is dead. And this figure, this person that we haven't met yet or anything, he's going, I'm so sorry, it was an accident. So maybe he was, shooting through a scope on a rifle, and he thought he saw a deer or something like that, or he saw some movement, and he shot. But either way, Carl has been pegged. Rick is pretty much like in his face, and in like a big panel, he's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, you know? And I mean, he is literally, he's got a gun to his head. He's gonna kill this guy. And then Tyreese is like, whoa, wait, Rick, he's breathing, you know? So Rick goes and he backs off a little bit from just a full-on fucking killer father. And coming from a father as well here, you know, having 3 kids myself, I absolutely think that I would go to that level or farther immediately. You know, from here to like, I'm going to fucking murder you, accident or not, if somebody ever harmed or certainly shot one of my children. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's how the chapter ends. Carl is certainly severely wounded. We don't know what's going to happen. And like I said, this is kind of the episode or the chapter that we've really been waiting for, the issue. You know, that really kind of gets things moving in motion. You know, you start to like this character Donna, and then she just gets torn to bits, and they're really starting to kind of feel the loss, and like I said, the action and all that stuff is all starting to come together as you get to know these characters better. So let me know, like I said, let me know what you think. Certainly hit the thumbs up, give me a like if you think I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will catch you in the next one, Nation. As always, thank you for watching, brothers and sisters. Be sure to subscribe and take a look at some of my other videos. Thanks. See you next time, Nation.